how do I build wealth with opportunity zones? And the answer is really simple. So there's three main benefits of an opportunity zone transaction. So you take any kind of capital gain, and that could come from anything. It could come from the sale of real estate. It could come from the sale of a business. It could come from the sale of crypto. Crypto not so much appreciated right now, but it will. It'll go back, right? And you could sell gold. You could sell an appreciated baseball card, or Pat Flynn could have an appreciated Pokemon card that he sells. And when you get that capital gain, if you put it into a qualified opportunity fund within 180 days, you get to defer that gain until 2026. So let's not discount that first benefit. Deferral until 2026 means that you get to take what you normally would have paid to the government and you get to invest it in whatever deal that you're interested in doing. And so if you're making money off of money that you would have paid to the government, that's like an infinite return, right? Yeah. Because it's found money. Okay. Now you're going to ultimately need to pay the government on that initial gain, and you get to pay that in 2026. Now there's current legislation that could extend that out to 2028. And so if that ends up happening, then anybody who is invested prior to December 31st, 2022 will be able to get a 15% reduction on their taxes when they go to pay them in 2026, or it'll be 2028 at that point if the legislation goes through. And so that's the second benefit. So at that point in time, we're talking about a negative interest loan from the government, right? Because you're not only not having to pay the taxes, but you're paying less taxes when you have to go pay them. So if that weren't enough, right, I'm going to throw in, the government said, listen, I'm going to throw in the Big Daddy, right? So you buy those two and you get this one for free. And the biggest one is that after you've held your investment for 10 years, right, because they wanted the money to be patient, you get a step up in basis to fair market value. What that means is that whatever you sell that property for, your basis is now stepped up to that amount, and you will not pay any capital gains taxes, and you will also not pay depreciation recapture. And for those flippers that are savvy out there, this is huge, because not only, right, are you able to defer your taxes, reduce the taxes, but along the way, you can do cost segregation studies, use the depreciation to offset the income and potentially offset other income that you have. And then as soon as your fund investment turns 10 years old, you get to sell every asset that the fund owns. You don't have to sell it until 2047, right? But you can, and you get a step up in basis to fair market value. So you won't pay any capital gains on the growth, and then you also will not pay depreciation recapture. Where this is really relevant as well is that it's all dependent on your QOF investment. So you don't actually have to own the asset for 10 years. You just have to have invested in your fund for 10 years. And so it's mind-blowing on the potential benefits of this, right? So, you're talking about at least 23.8%. That's if you're above $500,000. That's what capital gains rate is, because you're eliminating that. And then it just depends on how creative you've gotten with the depreciation. And so this program makes a good deal, right? So if you're doing a great deal and you do it in an opportunity zone, it's like one of the things that I love about, the generational wealth creation opportunity of opportunity zones is that it does so with impact too. Puerto Rico needed private investment, and this has resulted in a massive amount of cash coming into the island in order to make not short-term flips and that kind of thing, but long-term 10-year holds and 10-year investments into, the properties and that kind of thing that the folks need down there. So anybody that's got any questions about opportunity zones, so that's the great thing about what we've created, is that there's all types of information out there on the internet about opportunity zones, and you could go here and there and kind of distill it down or whatever. But if you want the express elevator to the top of the tax-free summit of opportunity zones, jump into the boot camp or set a strategy call, and we'll unpack your situation.
I love it. The best thing I heard, which I think it's like the one thing I never hear, is somebody that's actually said, I live in the United States, and I am taking advantage of the tax benefits of Puerto Rico. I think that was genius.
Absolutely. And so you don't have to be a resident. Now, there's great benefits with becoming a resident under Act 60 and all the kind of stuff that we've talked about. But you can absolutely be a United States resident, not give up any of your, not have to go down there for 190 days and deal with all that kind of stuff, and absolutely take advantage of the tax-free initiatives associated with Puerto Rico.